All right, guys. Hopefully, you're doing fantastic today. Today is Thursday, October the 8th, and it's a fantastic day. So, hopefully, your Thursday is going good. A couple of things I want to talk to you about. One is that tonight is still going on right now. You guys can join on to the Next Step Summit. That's renewedleadership.org/next step to get in. That's not what I want to talk about today in this video, but just a reminder that you can get in there today. Today's the last day, the third day. First two nights were fantastic, and tonight I've already watched a little bit this afternoon. Fantastic stuff. So join. But today I want to talk about how do you impress first-time visitors. A couple of things I saw on the show, The Prophet. Okay, so like last night in our youth service, we had I think 8, almost 10 visitors. A couple of them have been here off and on the last couple of years, but really a couple brand new, fresh faces. Plus, we had a couple adult leaders kind of checking out the service, that kind of thing. And so it brought me back to the show, The Prophet. Now, I got to tell you, when I first heard the show, The Prophet, I was thinking this is some like make believe, making fun of Christian prophets, something like that. And so I was just like, this is going to be a bad show. Don't watch this show, kind of thing. So eventually I got around to watching it, and it's awesome. Okay. So Marcus Lencioni is awesome. Love Marcus, man. It just so good, so good. You got to watch it. So basically, if you don't know the show, it's a guy, Marcus, comes in and helps struggling businesses. He buys an investment in them and helps them to get back on health, and gives them principles on how to get better, all kind of stuff. So I've taken a lot of ideas from the show, The Prophet, and taken them into ministry. And so one of the things that he talked about was this concept of 4 corners and 4 walls. Okay, so 4 corners and 4 walls. Okay, so the concept is this, that you have 4 corners. So what he talks about is the perimeter of your facility, like literally the street around your building. So he drives up. Okay, what is the first thing that you see when you're driving up from the street? That's the four corners of your property. Okay, so when people are driving down the street, what do they see? When they first pull into the parking lot, what do they see? Is the paint chipping? Is the asphalt cracking? Is the wall, the signs hanging wonky? Is there trash blowing through the street? Is there unkept, weeds and trees all over the place? What is the very first thing that people pull into and see on the road as they pull into your building? What is those 4 corners that he talked about that they see? And so what he's talking about is, if you're going to have ownership of your ministry, if you're going to have ownership of your business, you got to take care of the 4 corners. Pull the weeds, take care of that painting. Get some paint yourself and paint the red fire hydrant, red parking areas. Get out there and take care of that, so that when people walk in, they pull up into it, it looks nice. So the 4 corners is the first thing. Then he talks about the 4 walls. So that's everything inside of your building. So the 4 corners, everything on the outside, the street, driving in, all around your property, weeds, paint, signage, all that stuff. Does it look good? Is it inviting? Is it welcoming? Even does it tell you where to go? If I'm pulling in and I've got a student with me, I've got a kid with me, and I'm the adult, where do I go to drop these people off, right? Does it, when I pull in and I'm a parent and I'm dropping my student off, does it look safe? Does it look inviting? Am I dropping my kid off at some like abandoned building, it looks like? Okay, so think through all of these things. That's the 4 corners, everything on the outside, everything on your property. Does it clearly look good? Does it clearly tell people where to go? Does it portray safety? All those kinds of things. And so the 4 corners. The next thing he talks about is the 4 walls. So that's everything on the inside of that building. So when people walk through the doors, what do they see? Again, is chip painting or signs falling down? Is like last night we had issues with our ping pong table. It's like all broken. And so I eventually just said, look, that looks terrible. Get rid of it. I don't want this out here because it looks terrible, right? And so there's so many things that as ministry leaders we overlook because it's just kind of part of the ping pong table's always been looking trashed, or oh man, I know that man, the bathrooms smell terrible, or where we overlook these things because it's kind of like just part of what we are, And so I'm telling you this, like, students aren't coming because your building is awesome. That's not necessarily what it's all about. But let's take a little bit of pride if we can fix those things. Last night I had a girl come to me and say, hey, the girls' bathroom light keeps flickering on and on and off. I'm worried that people might get scared. That was a great leadership moment to not just think about herself, but to think, hey, if someone comes in here and the light's turning off, they might get scared. That was awesome. We're able to get somebody in there to take a look at that. That is taking ownership of the four corners, the four walls. That's taking ownership of all those little moments, right? Is it clearly marked where to check in? Is it clearly marked, who your leaders are? So again, like last night, we had a couple of visitors, a couple of adult visitors that came checking out, see if they might be volunteers. So again, hey, this is where the adults check in. Hey, tonight you're going to wear just a blank lanyard, right? So the leaders have lanyards. All of those things, letting leaders know, letting students know, are they clearly marked? Is it clean? Is it taken care of? Is it unkept? I remember when I was starting out in youth ministry, we had this couch, man, and it was just toe up. I mean, it was bad. It was bad. I mean, it was ripped and all that. Some of the students loved it. They thought it was awesome. But can we upgrade that, or can we at least put a cover on it or something to make it look a little bit better? And again, some of these things we just kind of overlook, but we got to look at it and say, okay, from an outsider's perspective, when someone's coming in for the first time, from the very corners of our property, does it look good? Does it look inviting? Does it look like there's actually a service going on? I've gone places and it's like pitch black. It's like scary. And you want me to come as a visitor into your building, drop my kid off into this scary building when I have no idea what's going on, right? Now, I'm assuming it's a church. I'm assuming there's safety. I'm assuming there's people in there, but I don't really want to drop my kid off with all those questions, right? So we got to answer all those questions right up front. So love this concept of four corners and four walls. So looking at everything from the very edge of the street when people are driving by, as they're pulling in, all the way through, walking through the building, into their chairs. What does it look like? Does it portray excellence? Does it portray exactly what you want? Does it portray, hey, we're welcoming, we're inviting, we want you here? Or do they have to like walk through this like dark, scary hallway to get through into where you're at, right? And so just thinking through all those things. Is it clean? Is it pointing people in the right direction? Does it look inviting? Does it look safe? All of those things are there, right? Again, we had a girl visit last night. She was a little bit intimidated, a little bit shocked, but I was able to meet her out on the street. I saw her and her grandma walking up, and I met her. I saw her. I said, hey, you were here on Sunday, right? She came on Sunday, and she came back Wednesday night. I was like, ah. So instantly, some of her walls began to break down. I walked her from the street where her grandma was walking, not the street, the parking lot, all the way through our welcome team, all the way up to check-in station. I introduced her to the lady who was going to check her in. I walked her through the night. Hey, this is what's going to happen. It's much like Sunday, but just a lot bigger. And here's what it's going to look like. This is what's going to go on. I introduced her to her small group leader that night. I said, hey, this is the lady who's going to be your small leader tonight. And so all of those things, walking people through all of those moments and making sure that from the edge of the street all the way through the service, that things are represented the way that you want it to represent. So here's the concept from the prophet: 4 corners, 4 walls. 4 corners, 4 walls. As all of those speak what you want it to speak. So hopefully this video has been helpful. We'll see you guys again tomorrow.